everyone, my name is Jennifer Stay. This is Coloring Bliss, and we're coming to you from our mobile art studio at the shore of Henry's Lake out here in Idaho. That's kind of close to Yellowstone, right?
Yep.
So we're on the road. Hooray! We escaped the heat of Utah. Salt Lake City area is kind of where we normally are, and we're headed north into where it's cool. And we're stopped here for just a night or two, and then we're going to head further north, and I don't know where we're going to end up. All I know is that we're away from the heat, and I'm so grateful. So I've got cute little Rose behind me. She's our little Maltese dog. If you've been around, you know she's in almost all our videos. We'll see how long she lasts back there. She looks so cute back there. And I've got Steve here with me, and today we're going to be coloring with our Tombow markers. I'm so excited to show you how to color with them. We're going to be coloring this page right here, my Flamingo summer coloring page. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to show you that I finally finished this, my Tri-Tone worksheet coloring book here with all the Tombow markers all finished. So I'm going to show that to you as well. But before we get started, I want to remind you that we're doing a giveaway for World Watercolor Month. So if you're watching this in July 2020, then you have a chance to win a complete set of Derwent Inktense pencils. Not just a few of them, the complete set of Derwent Inktense pencils. And as a bonus, surprise everybody, we are also going to include in the package for the winner of the Derwent Inktense pencils a complete book, one of these Tri-Tone worksheet books that's brand specific for the Derwent Inktense pencils. So what that means is that you'll get the full set of pencils plus a book to help you learn how to organize and swatch and put them all together and start picking colors so that you can do art with them right away. Pretty cool. That's a huge package of an awesome giveaway gift. So come celebrate World Watercolor Month with us. Get your entry in, and good luck, everybody. I hope you win. Okay, so let's get to the Tombows. That's why you're here. I'm so excited to show you that I actually finished filling out my book right here. So, yay! Okay, if you've ever worked with watercolor brush pens, you know that they can be a little tricky to blend. So after filling out a whole bunch of these swatches, look at them all, I have just a wee bit of experience now on how to blend these little squares. So what I did was, when I was filming this, I took a moment, I believe it was when I was on the yellow-orange page, wherever that one is, I took a moment and walked you through how to swatch and get a really pretty blend. Now we are on watercolor paper, so that gives us all an advantage when you swatch and color with water-based products on watercolor paper. If you decide to order this book from Coloring Bliss, it will come printed on watercolor paper. So what I'm going to do is send you to past Jennifer and let her tell you how to swatch these beautiful pens onto this book, okay? So there you go. Go on and listen to Jennifer. Okay, so the way I'd found best to blend these markers, the 3-color blend, into those swatches is to start with the darkest color. So I do the flick stroke about a third of the way up, like this, for the darkest color. Then I come in with the mid-tone and start to really, with just the tip of the marker, do a bit of a blending. So you want to kind of do wet on wet, and then over the edge with the fresh tips. So I've got a scratch piece of paper here on my right that I'm cleaning off the tip. Then I go to the lightest color, and again with the tip, sort of a scrumbling motion to blend that edge, and then clean off the tip again. And so that's the lightest color at the very top. So you get a really nice blend from dark to light there. I'll show you again with these two here. So the darkest tone gets flicked up, And then you grab your mid-tone, which is your main color, and with the tip of it, sort of scumble it in like that. Clean off the tip, come back. Now we've got the fresh color, like that. Then go into your lightest tone, again blending it in. And because we're on the watercolor paper, it blends just effortlessly. Clean off the tip and then come in, and now at the very, very top we're getting the lightest of the transition color. Okay, we've got 2 more squares, and then we get to do the 3 colors swatched, and then we'll just keep on moving through the red-orange. Okay, so now that you know how I came to swatch all these little squares, now I'm going to roll some footage of how beautiful it looks as all the colors are being filled into the squares. It's really fun to watch it sped up, so I'll just let you enjoy that footage. That was me swatching this book. It's all done now. It does take quite a lot of time to get this all swatched, but once it's done, I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to pick colors. We're going to be doing this coloring page right here, this really fun summer page of a flamingo. So I'm going to show you how quick it is now that we've got this book finished to pick the colors. It's really awesome. So let me flip through the book now and show you everything that comes in the book. Let's roll that footage and you can see everything that's included in the book. All right, now that you've seen everything that comes with the book, you'll see why it's so valuable. You get hands-on manipulatives that you can cut out. When you cut them out, they look like this. You get all these really awesome wheels. I usually attach them with clips into the book like this so that they're handy. The manipulatives then sit on top of the pre-printed wheel like this so that you can spin it. Now you can also purchase, if you don't have the Tombows, or if you just want a book that isn't necessarily brand specific, a book that you can apply to any brand of tools that you have, we make this one here that is, we call it the Quick Color Picker. It's a full color reference guide. So this one is fully colored. So you won't have to do any work except if you want to cut out the manipulatives. Then this book might be more up your alley. So as you can see in here, it comes fully colored. Now Steve mentioned that you get some pretty common questions about the full color reference guide.
Yeah.
What was some of the common questions you get about this one?
They wonder what the numbers are, and then they also wonder which coloring tool this is based on. colors are based on.
Okay, so the colors are based on this color wheel right here. This is kind of our color reference, our standard that we always base all of our colors off of, this color wheel right here. So it's based on an artist color wheel, and then we try to get it as close to this as possible. So our printer is kind of tuned to this color wheel, so when we print it off, it will hopefully be as close as possible to this color standard. And then there are numbers. Let me show you the best place for me to explain the number system. Steve has wondered whether we should get rid of the numbers altogether, and I told him that I kind of like the number system that he came up with. So here you can see we've got 3 color wheels, basically the medium tones, the light tones, and the dark tones. So the this color scheme tool is based off of a light, medium, and dark for every color on the color wheel. So in the end, we have 36 colors. And you can see here he's got every color assigned a number. So the medium tones go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then the light tones pick up at 13 through 24. And then the dark tones pick up at 25 through 36. So throughout the book, that is consistently what their numbers are. And then where this helps you is that in the back, so back here, you can see he's given you swatching areas where you can come in. Now see here, you can see the medium tone yellow is number 1 right here, and you can see that you can swatch your own colors. So here I've got a green grass. These were the Black Widow color pencils, and I've labeled it that this is my number 3. So I'm using it as number 3 green. So you come see here, number 3 green. So anytime I need a number 3 green in one of the color schemes, I'm going to reach for SC from the Scorpion set, number 82. So that's how I think it would be really helpful for you. So you can swatch a pencil that you think works really good for any of these 36 colors and label it, I'm going to use this for number 32, red, violet, dark from here on out, and you'll always be able to reference to it. So that's why I think having the number system that Steve came up with is super valuable. So even if you've got some markers, see here I've got markers, I could label these. Now this one is going to be my number 3 green as well, and I can always reach for it and find it quick and easy. So that's how this system works if you want to use it as a generic full color reference guide. Now I've got mine all colored up for the Tombows, and what's so great about this is I'm going to be coloring this page with the Tombows. I have it printed on watercolor paper, and I want to be able to pick Tombow markers that work well together in beautiful colors and just dive straight in and start coloring here on this coloring page. So what I'm going to be able to do now, because I've done all the work, all the swatching is done in here, I can just swing through here and find a color scheme that I'm excited about, and it's going to tell me exactly what colors in my set to go reach for. So I know that I want my Flamingo to be pink. That's pretty obvious. So pink Flamingo. So pink is a tint of red. So a tint is a color plus white. That's kind of color theory number, let's see right here. Tint is a color plus white. So if you swing this over like this and move your red here, you can see there is pink. It's a tint of red. So I need a color scheme that has some red in it, and then I can just do a lighter version, do some pinks. So I'm going to pick a red color scheme and do a tinted version of it. So I've got some greenery, I've got a whole bunch of flowers. These flowers down here I'll probably do in similar colors to the Flamingo to kind of ground it and give the whole coloring page some good balance. And then these flowers out here, I don't know what I'll do. Let's see what kind of color scheme kind of jumps out at me here. Could do some yellows. This blue-green is interesting with orangey tones. Kind of like that. Blue green would be nice and cool and kind of interesting. Or we could come up here into an analogous color scheme. This would give me 4 colors to pick from, which would be kind of nice. But is that too much on this page? Especially where I'm going to be working with tints. I'm going to keep coming back. I think I might do this color scheme, but throw in a little extra green to give it kind of like this, maybe a little extra yellow green, since we have a lot of greenery. So I think this is the color scheme I'm going to do, but I'm going to add a little extra green here and there. So this is the one right here, the split complementary number 3. So now I look at right below it, and it tells me exactly what markers to go pull from my set. And it's really cool because these are the actual markers that I'm going to be using. I can see how they blend. I can see how they look right next to each other. I know exactly what to expect. It's on the actual paper that the coloring page is printed on. There should be no surprises here. So this is really cool. So I have my markers here. I pulled them out of my art studio and brought them with me to come into my mobile art studio here. And I've got them set up in their tri-tones, their light, mediums, and darks here. So now we just have to hunt them down. So we're looking for blue, green, red, and orange. Just that fast. We've got the whole color scheme picked. Plus we have our extra green, so it's the split complementary 3. Here's all of our pens, and then we can reach for more pinks and reds if I decide I want to, you know, more flamingo colors. So I think we're ready to start coloring. I'm so excited. So it's pretty fast to pick your colors, and that's just one page of all the pages in this book. So I highly recommend you pick up one of these books if you haven't already. It's awesome, especially if you have one of the brand specific brands that we have already covered, and we have more brands coming. And if you become one of our Bliss boosters over at coloringbliss.com, that's a colorist or an apprentice or a partner, you get discounts over at the print shop, so you get percentages off of any of your purchases. So it's pretty cool. So come on over and check it out. But let's get coloring. I'm so excited to see this flamingo. All right, here we go. So how to color with Tombows on watercolor paper. So we have lots of options, and one of the things I have handy is a non-porous surface. This could be a ceramic plate. It could be a piece of sheet protector, a piece of plastic, anything that's non-porous. I've got a cutting board here. It's just an inexpensive plastic cutting board that I'm going to use as my non-porous surface. I could even use this cutting board that I'm working on right here, but this will be a little easier to take to the sink and clean up. That's one thing that you're going to want to have. And then, like I said, I have my coloring page printed on watercolor paper. Watercolor paper is special. It's not just thick, and it doesn't just have a special texture. Watercolor paper has a special protectant on it. It's called sizing. And what that does is allows any kind of water-based product to sort of float on the top of the fibers of the paper. You know, if you've ever colored with a water-based product on just standard paper, even nice cardstock, what happens is you get those streaks, and it's really difficult to blend in, and it's because the fibers of the paper act like little tiny sponges and just soak up all that water really fast, and you get the stripes and all of the weird blending, and then the paper starts to sort of fall apart and pill up. That's what's going on. With watercolor paper, it has that protectant, the sizing on it. Different companies do different kinds of sizing, and some papers are even made out of cotton and different kinds of fibers. And that helps the water to sort of float and gives the artist a little bit more time to work with that particular type of paint or substance. So that's why I like having our pages printed on watercolor paper when I'm using a product like the Tombow markers. So if you're looking for a coloring book like that, come on over to coloringbliss.com and you can build your own coloring book, all printed on watercolor paper. It's pretty cool. So that's going to give me a huge advantage here using these markers on this paper. So let's kind of get our feet wet before we dive into the Flamingo. I think I want to practice on the little flowers here and see what kind of a blend we can get. And I know I want to use the pinks in this flower, but I also want to use a bit of the orange to kind of get a peachy tone in the flower. I think it'd be pretty to have peach in the middle and have it sort of spread out to the pinks of the flamingo out on the edges. Kind of what I'm imagining. So let's play with that. And as far as the light source, I'm thinking I want the light source top right. I generally go for a top right light source. In my world, it's usually top right, but also because the flamingo's face is right here, I think it would be nice to have a top right light source so we can have some nice highlights on his actual face. So that's what I'm picturing. Top right light source. I'm not going to be really strong with the light source, but I do want to have some highlights on there. So that's my general thinking. So let's dive in and give this a try. Okay, so I'm going to have red, and I like the bright. These two mixed in will be really good to give it a peachy tone mixed in with the reds. So I think that will help. So let's start with that mix. I've got these two oranges and my reds ready to go. And I'm going to use the brush tip. If you've never seen a Tombow marker before, it's got two ends, a really nice brush tip on one end. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus. The lighting is still a little tricky in here. Here, maybe if I go here. That's better. You can see that brush tip right there. And then on the other end of the marker is a really nice fine point for doing really small details. So that makes it really nice. Okay. So I'm going to flick in some red here, but we want to tint it to that nice peachy color I was talking about. And I'm not going to be too literal about, like, I don't want it to look like I'm trying to make it look exactly like a certain flower here. Okay, mix that orange in with it here. And get it to be a peachy color. Now, like I said, because we're on that nice watercolor paper, I can actually do some of the color mixing right there on my page. I like that. Let's come here so you can see it from this angle. Now I've got the lightest of my orange color. And blend those edges out. So I thought it'd be kind of fun while I'm coloring. Steve's been taking some really fun photos and some drone footage of some of the neat places we've been visiting as we've been making our way from Salt Lake area towards where we're at right now, which is Henry's Lake. So maybe while I'm coloring here, I'll have Steve roll some footage of where we've been. Okay, now let's go to the brightest pink, which is actually red. And then we're going to back it off with our pink marker, like this. Mix it in. Okay, that's looking pretty. Then you want to have a scratch piece of paper handy to clean off the tip of your marker to get back to the original color. There, that's looking pretty. Oh, that's pretty. Bring that down in there. I wish pour that red in there and blend it out. That's working really well. Bring this scratch paper closer so you can see when I'm cleaning off the nib. Wind's picking up. We're gonna have a howling part of our video, I think. Oh, pretty. Oh, it's turning out so pretty. Okay, bring in some more red right here, like that. And blend that out. That's looking good. See if I put that in shadow, you can see it a little bit better. There. Okay, I like that. Alright, I think I'll just repeat that same procedure over here on the second flower. And then when we get up to the flamingo, we'll just do the same idea, just not as much oranges up here on the flamingo, and brighter, pinkier. Yeah, pinkier. Now if I can remember how I did it. That's the trick, right? How did she do it? I think I did orange first. That's okay, they don't have to be twins. Just sisters. I think I went in with red. I don't know. They're not twins. They're gonna be twins. This one's gonna be yellower in the middle. Ooh, we could do a little stripe of the peach right here like this. And then the pinky. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, kind of like that. And the orangey. What do you think of my flowers so far, Steve?
Oh, they're really pretty.
I think I want to try flicking some orange this time. This one definitely has darker in here, which I like. I think I might try to darken up that one once we get that done. Okay. Ooh, that turned out pretty. I love watercolor on watercolor paper when it does cool blends like that. It's just very satisfying. Okay, let's add a little darker. Okay, light source coming in like that. So there would be a little darker around here like that, maybe. Just feel a little more depth in there. That feels a little better. And blend it out. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is let this sit, because as it dries, we might see some areas that need a little more blend, like I can see over here. This can take a little more blending already. So let's blend that out. And then, like I said, we'll let it dry, come back and fiddle with it if we need to. But I'm feeling confident now, like we can keep going. I wonder what color this middle part of the flower should be. Okay, I'm feeling glitter. All right, let's move up to the flamingo, which needs to be bright pink. Don't you think, Steve?
Of course.
Okay, so we have this lightest pink. I think these two, pink and the red. So if we come up like this, thinking light source. What if I just color the whole flamingo pink to start with? One thing I noticed when I was swatching the Tombows, which you might find interesting, Steve, is some of the Tombows will layer, like if you do double layer of the same color, you can get a darker color, but some of them won't. I thought that was interesting. Oh, it's a pretty little flamingo, and I only did the one part. Okay, so if I just color the whole thing, take advantage of that nice broad tip, and just loosely color the whole flamingo. When you look at pictures, photographs of flamingos, they're like all over the place with colors. And I think it's their diet. Isn't that what you understand, Steve?
Yeah, I seem to remember that.
Their diet will determine how pink they are. Sometimes they're more orangey, sometimes they're more pink.
Some of our friends who live in Florida, I'm sure, can.
Yeah, I'd love you to comment if you know about flamingos, or do you live by flamingos? Or are you like me and the only flamingo you've ever seen is at a zoo? Or on nature shows. So I may have to bring up a photo reference. Like their beaks, I want to say, have black in them. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not positive. So I need to look it up. Wouldn't want to give my flamingo a black beak and then find out it was blue or something.
Or would you?
Yeah, maybe I'm being too literal again. You guys know I have a problem with being too literal. Sorry, I'm jumping all over here. Steve's trying to keep me in the shot. Okay. The other great thing about this is it's feathers, so we can be kind of loose with our strokes here. Okay, now let's add, I'm going to go into my Tombows and find some more pinks. So instead of just randomly going into my markers and hoping to find some pinks that will work, I'm going to go to the back where we swatched. If you saw the speed version, you saw me swatch all these pinks so we can find some good pinks. So I know I'm using 761 Carnation right here, so I can find some good pinks to add to our Flamingo. We've got some bluey pinks, we've got some orangey pinks. Since we're working with oranges, I'm thinking the orangey pinks are the ones to reach for. So let's go for 803. That's this one right here. Oh, Steve just found some reference photos. Awesome. Okay, there's 803.
I like how sometimes they kind of go lighter on the...
And really red. That one's really red.
Oh, that's a pretty picture.
Okay, so 803 is a bonus one I'm going to throw in. That's way too red. What else have we got? Ooh, look, a coral color. 873 would be good. Let's see if I can find 873. That's this one. Okay, and that's the one I grabbed already, 803, right? Yeah. And maybe something really crazy like 723 or 703. That goes really blue. So let's err on the side of not quite so blue with 723. Which one is 723? This one right here. Okay, there's our 3 crazy pinks we're going to add. So that's why we love having swatches. You can see the undertones, whether they have lean blue, lean orange. You can see it right next to the one that you're using, and that's going to help really fast color picking again. So this is from cntraveler.com, a reference photo that Steve found for me. So you can see, I mean, we could pretty much throw in any pink I want here, and we're going to be
even
okay.
some salmons, you know,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
So that's why I grabbed that corally color here. But we do have a black beak with white, the main white part here, and then black on the tip. So that was one thing I wanted to know. Oh, and it even has pink on the underside of the beak. Okay, we're going to have this on the side. Thank you, Steve. Okay, so, but it kind of looks like for the neck is darker.
Yeah.
And then we can just kind of throw in some colors here. So let's do a quick swatch here of these extra pinks so I know what to grab. This is number 803. So this is typically what I do. I like to have my swatches that I'm actually using swatched on a spare sheet of paper like this, so that I can remember if I have to walk away from this coloring page and come back, this will let me pull these markers back out, and I can remember what I was doing and what I was using. Okay, I love that 803. We're totally going to use that on his neck. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that color. That is so pretty. So I'm going to totally do flicks too. When we're learning with the Bliss partners, we talk a lot about flicks, don't we, Steve? We do a lot of flick studies. If you're looking for some really in-depth learning, some workshops where I slow down and we learn a lot of this kind of thing, you need to join the Bliss partners. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, and let's flick it under his chin. Is that a chin? Do flamingos have chins? And there's a little bit right here going on. So we're going to flick some in there, and then just kind of flick a few in there like that. We're going to be just sort of loose. Let me see if I can get this into the shot for you. And then like that. A few flicked in like this too. We're going to blend all this out here in a second. I'm just sort of establishing some rough, I like that. Now let's bring in, looking at my swatches, that was 803. Let's do 723, that kind of bluey one now. And flick some of those in just to get a different feel moving through this. Maybe the blue is under here on the leg. The bluey pink. And maybe there's some bluey pink going on up his neck. I don't know. Maybe when he put on his makeup in the morning, that's what he picked. Do flamingos wear makeup? This one does. Okay. And then we'll go to 873, which is this more salmon-y pink. And, oh yeah, that's pretty. Kind of looks like sunshine hitting him. So we'll use it like our highlight up here and blend it in. Oh, fun. I don't know what I'm doing, you guys. I'm just having fun here. Ooh, I like it on the wing. Okay, now we're going to come back with our base color, which was our original light pink from our color scheme, this 761 right here. And we're going to blend. Okay, so anywhere where it feels like I didn't do something correct, or it's not a smooth transition from one color to the next, instead of trying to smooth it out with the two different colors, I'm just coming over it now with my lightest base layer color and letting it do the work. Again, the reason this works is because we're on watercolor paper. If I tried to be this aggressive with the pens on standard cardstock, it would not be this easy. Alright, now we need to let them dry and see where it needs more work. Okay, let's work on his beak. We need black, but maybe not straight black. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, that's a pretty black beak. We'll go straight in for the blackest black, and I need my colorless blender. Okay. So we have black. It should dry just a little bit lighter, so hopefully the line work will come back. And then I'm going to use the colorless blender and make sure it's clean. Sometimes I don't clean it very well from the last time I used it. I did pretty good. You'll see the colorless blenders get stained. Can you see how the tip is a little orange? It won't affect what you're doing, so don't be afraid of that. Now I laid down this little bit of pink, and I want to soften it and make it feel like it's... Oh, I grabbed some black. That's okay. Shh, don't tell. It'll just... What's a color plus black?
Shade.
It's a shade now of that pink. Okay. And we'll just blend the edge out like that. Now it has a softer transition. Okay, now we're just going to let it dry. We can use that colorless blender in other spots. Now what color are their legs? Kind of a gray pinky color. Interesting. Let's go for the 761, our base layer color. And we can come in with a little gray if we want to, or we'll just, in our world, have pink legs. When I was drawing these legs, I had a heck of a time trying to get the, how do you draw flamingo knees? And I wanted them to look like flamingo knees, but I didn't want them to look like too realistic. Anyway, it was I was torn between anyway. So you ended up with knees like this.
How they're kind of a, like you said, gray pink.
Grayish
kind of
pink. So we'll go for that. And their eyes they kind of get lost, don't they? They're kind of just white. They're kind of like what I drew. Okay, now the middle of the flower down here, maybe we'll use our lightest color, the 991, the lightest of the oranges for now, and we can come back with like a sparkly gold on top of it. So this will be the base layer, like that. Okay, so I think I'm going to keep letting this dry. It definitely needs some contrast. It's pretty flat right now, like we don't have a highlight or a dark. Like, oh, I really want to darken it up. Like if we took a tiny bit of the reds in here now and darken up just to give some dimension underneath. Like that. And then grab our pink, maybe the 803. And blend that red out. Yeah. See how I did that? Then that makes that kind of boof of feathers look like they're on top, if that makes sense. So another way to do that would be on your non-porous surface. You can lay down some red and pick it up with your other color. So this is my 803, and I'm picking up that dark red, the 856, and coming in and laying it in those shadow areas. So that's another way to do something similar, a little bit more controlled, and it'll mix the colors on the tip a little bit. So that's another way to do that. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and hit fast forward, so we're not here all day, and keep adding some dimension, and I'm going to add some green and a few other colors so that you can see it come together. Oh, that really helped, didn't it, right there, along there. So I'm just going to keep adding some colors. You can sit back and relax and enjoy watching the colors come on to the page, and I'll be back in a minute so you can enjoy that. Okay. Okay, I got my white Posca pen. This is the 0.7 millimeter Uniposca. So it's just basically a white paint pen that I'm using now. I wish I had left more white highlights. Like looking at the reference photos, they look like the flamingos look like they have white feathers, you know, mixed in with the pinks. So I'm going to use the Posca pen to add back the paint, the white, the feathers and the highlights. So the way I'm going to do it is by a smear. I'm going to flick it in and then smear it out so it kind of knocks back the paint and makes it more translucent. But I'm going to be really mindful and only do it on the highlight type spots. So remember, my light source is top right. So I want the top of his head to feel brighter. So yeah, I'm just going after some contrast by bringing up the highlights now. So let me bring this up a little higher so you can see where I've added those white feathers right along the top. Do some here. Yep. So just run around and add some highlights now, and then I'll add some bling too here in a minute. Okay, I gotta say, adding the white Posca paint in is becoming amazing. Look at that. This is really cool to me. Like the little, I'm doing it in different layers of opacity, so some of them are really translucent and some of them are really stark and white, and this is just really fun to me. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, that's pretty.
Now it's getting kind of the dimension I was hoping for, where it's looking like the light source is coming in and we've got some bright feathers and then the deep pinks. This is really cool. Posca paint pen to the rescue. And then what I'll do is I'll come down here and just add some highlights, being mindful of my light source again, like this, on the high points of the main focal things here, like these flowers, just to help them stand out more. Okay, I'm using a couple of my Sparkle Pop and Crazy Pop pens to add a little bling. This is the yellow-green one, and I also used the orange. I'm not too happy with the orange. I wish it was a little bit darker. I'm not getting enough contrast for the part coming out of the middle of the flower here. The green is working really well. I'll move it here in the light. So I may pick a different color here to help it stand out a little bit more. But look how great that green looks in the light. Nice. In fact, I might come up and trail it along these lines. Like that. Just follow the illustration lines. To add bling to more than one place. I like that. Okay, as I'm adding just a few little bits of bling here and there, we're coming to the end of this coloring page. So I want to remind you that we have our giveaway going for the Inktense pencils and a book, so that you can have a Tri-Tone color scheme book just like this, only colored with your Inktense pencils. So it's a two-part giveaway. You get a book and the complete set of Inktense pencils. Now, the only way to enter is if you follow the link in this video, and if you're watching this between, well, in July 2020. So make sure you follow the link, get your entries in. Good luck, everyone. I'm so excited to give that away for our celebration of World Watercolor Month. The winner will be announced August 1st of 2020. It's hard to draw and talk at the same time, you guys. So get your entries in. Good luck, everybody. If you miss out on this giveaway, if you're watching it after the giveaway is closed, don't worry. We're going to be doing more giveaways. So make sure you become a member over at coloringbliss.com, at least a free member, so that you can be notified next time we do a giveaway. And make sure you hit a like on this video so I know that you enjoyed watching this coloring page and that you enjoy videos like this. And make sure you share it with someone else that you think would enjoy seeing this. I think my favorite part of this coloring page is, one, the color scheme. I think it came together really well. I really like how it balanced. I wish there was a little bit more of contrast. It seems a little one-toned, lots of medium tones. I wish the orange flowers were popping up out of the page a little bit better, but I like the contrast I got in the green flower. I love how the flamingo turned out. Love the addition of the white Posca paint onto the flamingo to give those white feathers. They kind of go a little bit pinky because of the white below starts to come up through the white paint. I love the flamingo. I love the flowers, how deep the colors turned out with mixing the red and the orange tones, so we get those peachy tones. I wish that that little part of the flower right there had more contrast. It gets lost in the picture until you turn it, and then the shine grabs it and it looks really good. So I wish I had a little time to do the background, but I'm kind of happy with the white background because I think a background would fight all those strong colors I have going on. So it definitely has a feeling of spring. I loved using all these fun art supplies today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Good luck, everyone, for the giveaway, and I hope all of you have a wonderful, colorful, blissful day. Bye-bye, everyone.